Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday, the 2nd of August. It's hot, but quite frankly, not really as hot as forecast today, and nobody's griping about that. But then again, I don't know if you can tell the difference between a few degrees this time of the year. Let's take a look. We'll go to the Skycam images around the network this afternoon. First off, the view coming from Tuscaloosa. Hot, hazy, early August day. That's looking to the east from the top of the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse. You can see the steeple of First Baptist Church. Bryant-Denny Stadium off in the distance, DCH Regional Medical Center. Go to Birmingham, overlooking the UAB Medical Complex in downtown. Another shot there of a classic hot, hazy summer day in the state. And way down south, there's the Gulf Shore Skycam from the Phoenix All Suites. That's looking east. And again, a little cloudy-ish down there, but so far not much in the way of rain. Check the water vapor satellite shot today. That old ridge is trying to ease in here from the west, but again, the core of the heat remains a little west of the state. But it's hot enough, and of course, underneath that, in terms of rain, there's just not much happening again today. You look really carefully up on the radar today. You'll see a couple of specks up there, and that's about it. You've got one over in East Alabama around Jacksonville. One down in Talladega County, a couple in Cleburne County, and that's about it. And that's when we say the chance of any one spot getting wet is less than 1%. That's what we mean. Let's check the numbers. Look at that. Birmingham, 93 at 2 o'clock. Hey, you know, we'd expected 98 or 99 today. That's way below forecast values. And again, you know the deal. It's all about the soil moisture. It's lush and green, and a lot of the sun's energy has to evaporate that moisture in the topsoil layers. And that takes away from the ability of the sun to heat the ground, that in turn heats the air. And it's a big deal. Some people just don't pay attention to that, but it's huge when you're forecasting summer temperatures. You just have a hard time doing triple-digit heat when that's the case. And it is drier. The topsoil is not as deep to the west, and you've got those upper 90s, like Haleyville, 98, Tuscaloosa, 97. That's your real heat over there. And talking about real heat, look at this. Again, look at that. Looks like 109 in Oklahoma City. I know Dallas-Fort Worth's at 108 today. These are record highs out there. That's brutal. I mean, that is nasty stuff reminiscent of 1980. Now, in terms of the scope and the length of this heat wave, no, it's not in the same league, but those numbers are certainly reminiscent of that. So, when you look at 93 here, hey, it could be 109. We're blessed. Watch warning map, a few scattered pockets of flash flood watches around. And look at that severe thunderstorm box way up north. Little bitty, tiny box over Maine and New Hampshire until 7 o'clock Eastern time tonight. Convective outlook rest of today and tonight. Places like Chicago, Milwaukee, Des Moines, Detroit, Cleveland, Indianapolis. And day 2, slight risk for Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Chesapeake Bay, Wilmington. QPF chart, rain for the next 5 days. Good to see some numbers coming up there. We've got amounts of about 1 inch here, and this is valid through Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. And after tomorrow, we should start to see a little increase in the number of scattered showers and storms Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And as always, the rainfall distribution will be uneven, but clearly there'll be some storms around, and we'll sure take that. And again, out in Texas and Oklahoma, they just can't buy a drop. All right, tropics. Other than Emily, pretty quiet really out there. The intertropical convergence zone is a little active, but no other hot spots, if you will. Here's a look at Emily. Starting to look a little better on the satellite presentation. A little banding beginning to show up there. The system is southeast of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. Models are shifting right. Good news for Florida. If you're watching us in Miami or Daytona Beach, a clear right shift. And again, the ones that are keeping it farther south and west, those are assuming this thing is going to be kind of weak and shallow. They're like the BAM shallow model there coming over Cuba. But clearly the better dynamic models are pretty far off the coast of the United States. So the GFDL is very far to the right. In fact, the GFDL keeps this thing really east of the Bahamas. And accordingly, the guys at the Hurricane Center have adjusted their track. And they've got it staying offshore. They've got it Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. It's a tropical storm east of Jacksonville. And the recurvature should be beginning there, and it looks like it's going to be a classic recurve just off the South Atlantic coast. Strengthening is kind of unlikely It's got to come across Hispaniola, and then again, environmental conditions do not favor this to become a hurricane at this point. So, so far, so good. Looks like this will not be one of these red letter type storms. But as always, kind of like thunderstorms, expect the unexpected. We'll keep an eye on that. But no threat to the Gulf Coast, Alabama, anything like that right now. All right, GFS. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. And the core of the heat ridge is still west of the state. You can see the wind flow there, the anticyclone centered around Shreveport, where they'll be blazing again tomorrow. Got a light northerly flow aloft. And again, looks pretty dry. Like today, you might see a speck or two out there. Most spots dry. The GFS, the NAM are showing highs at 100. We need to cut that by a couple of degrees where there's good soil moisture. Most spots in the upper 90s. But again, west and northwest Alabama, that's your best chance for getting a triple-digit high tomorrow. Thursday, numbers are coming down. Rain chances going up a little bit. We'll bring in the chance of scattered afternoon storms, and highs go back in the mid-90s in most spots. Friday, pretty much the same deal. I think mid-90s are likely with a chance of scattered afternoon storms. We note Emily coming up through the Bahamas on the GFS. There's Saturday starting off the weekend. Again, the heights have come down a little bit. Down below that, we've got moisture, so have a chance of scattered showers and storms. Low to mid-90s, I think, are likely. The GFS numbers look way too hot. Emily is staying offshore. Sunday, Emily is making the turn well east of Savannah. Pretty moist there. Looks like we'll have maybe scattered to numerous showers and storms if this is right in low 90s. Monday of next week, Emily is headed out to sea without touching the United States, and this is just modeling, just the GFS, but again, it keeps it well offshore like many of the better tropical models. Looks like a very typical day. And Tuesday, a week from today, pretty moist, so scattered to numerous showers and storms, low 90s, and the really nasty, hot, dry stuff stays west of the state. We'll check the end of the forecast, August 18th. Pretty good troughing there out across the central part of the nation, kind of beating down the heat ridge a little bit. And again, that looks like your standard stuff. Some risk of scattered showers and storms with nothing excessively hot for August. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by tomorrow at some point, Brian Peters will pick that up. In fact, I'll be on vacation for a few days. My next video will be here Monday morning of next week at 7. Brian will have the videos once a day tomorrow through Sunday. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.